Hi, my name is Naomi Hayes. I'm going to try doing this, and if you would just bear with me. This is my first time doing this, but I felt God speak to me that I need to share my story. And if you are listening to this, it is not by accident. I believe God led you to this direction, and it's to help you. I was in prayer one morning on my way into work. I felt like the Lord spoke to me that I am supposed to share my story on social media. I am supposed to share it to show God's wonderful and merciful, even though we don't deserve it. I did not act on this right away. I let it sit and did not tell anyone what I felt from God. When I felt this was spoken to me, I had no idea how to even go about doing this. I've never done this before. But I know what God spoke. And it was almost 2 weeks later, my son and I were listening to YouTube music. My son said, "Mom, I made a video and I posted it." While I was watching my son's video, I felt God say to me again and speak to me and say, "He's your help. This is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to share your story, your testimony." So here goes. When I was a child, I went through a few very traumatic things. I had to work through constant bullying on the bus and in school. I would come home and cry every day because a boy said some very horrible, nasty things about me. None of this was true, but the kids would begin laughing and follow along with that boy and what he said. I also had to work through a couple other things while growing up. One, for another example, is the abandonment of my biological father. He had walked away from us. When I was in middle school, we began to go to church for all the services that they had. I found myself getting help from the Lord and growing in Him. I was in church service when I was about 17 years old and began to feel I was not worthy to worship God. At this time, I had also slacked on my Bible reading and my praying. In this service, the things that happened to me when I was younger came flooding in. I was unable to get into service that night. After this service, I found myself walking away from God. When I walked away from God, I found myself trying to fill a hole that every soul feels. I tried to fill this hole with relationships, drugs, and alcohol. I had no peace. And as a matter of fact, the things I was trying to fill, that void, that hole, was only making things worse. During this time, I also remember my mom, who was a mighty woman of God, getting cancer. I became so angry with God and questioning him to why my mom had cancer. I remember telling God, my mom has done nothing but loved you and served you with all of her heart. I became so bitter. Yet, I can remember God chasing after me. I honestly should not be here today, but God gave me grace I did not deserve. I have had many times that it is only by God's grace and love that I am here to share this today. One night that I should have died, I found myself driving down the road so angry. I was speeding down the road. I was so angry I forgot about a sharp turn that I have driven so many times before. The Lord gave me such grace and showed His love that I was able to slow down the car just before the turn. God allowed me to slow down enough to prevent me from rolling my car. I found myself becoming so depressed. I was struggling with depression so badly that I struggled with suicide. I did not see myself ever getting out of this. I would not have if it wasn't for the Lord's love and grace and Him continuing to chase after me. At this time, I lost my job, the relationship I was in, and my apartment. I would have lost my car too if it wasn't for my parents making some of my car payments. While all of this was going on, I had a friend from church, and my mom somehow talked me into going to church. I can remember on my way to church that night, there was a tremendous battle going on in my mind. I was being told I was no good and to jump out of the vehicle while my mom was driving at about 60 miles per hour down the road. If you are hearing this, it is a lie from the pit of hell. God loves you. He cares for you, and you do matter to Him. He had died for you on that cross. It doesn't matter what we have done. God died for all of us, and He loves us, everyone, and wants us all to make heaven our home. Just before we got to the church, and while my mind is racing and in a battle, my friend reached over and hugged me. Everything within me felt like this was God wrapping His arms around me to show me He loves me. I felt no good. But that night, God showed me He loves me just like He loves you. That service, God gave me help. I found myself no longer struggling with suicide after 3 men had prayed over me. But I'll have to admit, though I still didn't surrender all of my heart to the Lord. The Lord didn't give up on me, though, and He continued to chase after me, just like I'm sure He's chasing after you. And this video is just one way to show you He is. He loves you, and He's chasing you. It was sometime after the church service that I was doing some errands in Yorkshire, New York. I decided to stop and get me Burger King on Route 16. After I received my order, I pulled to the exit right there in front of Burger King to take my left-hand turn. I looked, and the only traffic that I saw was way down by the trailer park. I knew I had plenty of time to pull out. Excuse me. When I pulled out, the next thing I knew, I was hit by a semi-truck. I was driving a small compact car, a Chevy Cavalier. If I had pulled out moments sooner, the semi would have rear-ended me, and I am certain today I wouldn't be alive. The Lord kept His hands on me that this semi went up along my passenger's side. This day made me realize God loves me, and I need Him. I surrendered all of my heart to Him. God loved me and accepted me with all of my baggage. From that day forward, the Lord has been working in me, inside and out. My church, they loved me and was helping me with my walk in the Lord. The Lord and my church continue to help me grow in the Lord. The Lord wants us all to come to know Him. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We all have hope through Jesus Christ, who died for us. This is only a small part of my testimony, my story. And I feel the Lord wants me to share more. So please stay tuned as I pray and God leads me how to share my story. Thank you.